Andre, obviously you guys, didn't shoot particularly well for your standards this game. What did you see out there getting other guys going today? Because you had a lot of assists again.
I think it was like you said, we weren't shooting it pretty good at first, but second half, I kind of came with the mindset of trying to get guys going. Was trying to drive it in the paint, get their bigs to jump, acting like I'm gonna shoot a layup, but and find my guys in the corner or on the top on the 3-point line, because we weren't shooting it good, but shooters shoot. So every time I know I have really good shooters on the court, I'm always try and look for them and get them going because shooters shoot, and that's the only way you're gonna get them going.
Absolutely. And then Purdue had, I think, a 19-0 run, and you guys called a timeout. That you could kind of hear some of what was going on in the huddle. But what was the staff telling you guys then?
Just to kind of just keep playing hard. We just had to be physical on the rebounding on the rebounds. Keep calm, bring the pace down a little bit, but push it if we have it, and just be physical on the defensive glass, because we weren't shooting it good, like you said. Free throws were a mess, so we just had to keep being physical down there in the defensive glass, because we just had to keep getting stops, and we just had to keep getting stops to win the game since we weren't shooting it pretty well.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nico and then Joey. Go ahead, Nico.
Just realized I was muted. This one's for DeMonte. Looking back at the Penn State game, you guys have shown the ability to overcome a big run. Was that kind of in your minds after Purdue went on that 19-0 run today, knowing that you guys have already overcome something like that before?
That's always a good thing for us, just to come together. Coaches get on us every day about it. Obviously, we've seen it in a Penn State game when we came together. Good things happen, and coach has been preaching it to us every day ever since then. And we were just able to come together today.
And DeMonte, Andre had a couple really nice assists to you at the end of that first half. What are you seeing on that play from your perspective, knowing that he's got the ability to kind of make something out of nothing, it seems like?
Dre got eyes everywhere. Got eyes in his kneecaps, elbows. I mean, he sees stuff that nobody sees. So just just spacing the floor out, you know what I'm saying? And letting Dre do his thing. And if he find me, I'll step in and shoot it with confidence.
Hey, Andre, if it's kind of maybe a slower start and you're coming off the bench, what is your mindset as you're at the scorer's table and about ready to check in?
I actually like coming off the bench because you get to see what my teammates are doing wrong or what we need. So every time I'm on the bench, I just kind of stay focused on the game. That way, when I come in, I know what we got to do and what we need, because it's very important. I think every player that comes off the bench has a role, and I think that's mine, just to come in and get everybody going and get stops on the defensive side. I think we've improved so much since day one, since we started. We're becoming that defensive team that Illinois is known for. So every time I come in, I just try to do my best on defense, take that pride on defense, just like I do on offense, and then when I go on the other side, just get everybody going and always play hard.
And then DeMonte, you snapped the 19-0 run with a three-pointer. Trent hits another three in what was a 6-point deficit. It's a tight game. What's the value of having been through those experiences? I mean, you guys have been around for quite a few games here. How does that help you in those moments?
I mean, just coming together again and playing with confidence, really. Obviously, the game is about runs, so teams gonna make their runs. Just on us to stay together and do what we do every day.
Thank you.
Okay, Gabby and Brandon, you're up and on deck. Go ahead, Gabby.
Andre, Coach Underwood mentioned after last game, you've improved on the defensive end, and it looked that way again today. How have you gotten more comfortable on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I think like I said, not only me. I think it's been everybody. Everybody has improved in on that side of the court, and I'm just gonna continue to take pride on that side. I mean, I learned from the vet. Like Monte does a really good job on that side. He's always encouraging me to play hard. Trent, everybody knows what he does on that side. So I always look up to them on that side, and I always try to do my best and take pride because that's what's going to give us games when when we don't shoot the ball well like we did today at first. Kind of throughout the whole game we was on and off. So that part of the game is what's going to give us the W. So I'm always going to take pride on that, and we'll continue to do so.
All right, go ahead, Brandon, and then Scott Ritchie on deck. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, DeMonte, another positive day from three today. What's your confidence like as a shooter right now?
I mean, those are shots that I come in each and every day and take before, after practice, and during practice. So I'm just really getting routine, just stepping up and knocking it down.
And then Andre, your fellow freshman Coleman Hawkins had a solid outing today. What did you kind of see from him?
I think he's a great player. Obviously, as a freshman, it's tough. Not everybody gets the same opportunities, but I think he's a great player. And every time he comes in, I think he's getting it now. I think he knows his role. I know like I said, he's gonna struggle sometimes, just like I do, just like Adam does. As a freshman, he's gonna struggle, but I know he's always gonna play hard like he did today. He came in, gave us good minutes. And from now on, he just got to keep doing that, and that's how he's gonna continue to earn minutes. And I know he can bring a lot of positivity to the team. He's a great dude off the court, shoots it well, wants to get better. So I think I like him a lot, and he just got to keep working and keep learning and continue to improve.
Okay, we'll go Scott Ritchie and then Derek Piper.
I have a question for Andre. There were some lineups today with you, Coleman, and Adam, which we haven't seen as much, and one of those was in the second half when you guys kind of made your own run after Purdue did. But just what was it like, maybe with all three of you out there and contributing to getting this game back on track?
Wow, I didn't even realize that. But having three freshmen on the court, you don't see that every day. But I think as the games go by, as time goes by, practice goes by, I think we like I've been saying, we're just gonna continue to improve off the court when we're at practice, because that's what's gonna keep getting us minutes. And when we're together, like I know it's the Big Ten, it's a hard league, and I think Coach Underwood does a really good job of rotating guys and trusting us, and we're just gonna continue to earn that trust on practice, because that's what we do in practice, what we're gonna do in the game. So we just got to continue to improve, keep getting better, and just keep being coachable, because that's what's gonna give us minutes altogether. And I think we can do a really good job. Adam Miller is a great shooter, great guy at the same time, drives so well. Coleman can shoot it as well. So having those two guys for me on the court, it's a great thing.
Follow up for DeMonte. DeMonte, what kind of growth have you seen in those three freshmen where they can be on the court together and help this team get back on track?
I mean, they made tremendous growth from when they got here. That they're going to be a special group when they're sophomores and juniors and upperclassmen. But yeah, just their work ethic is the thing that stands out to me the most. They always are willing to work, doing whatever it takes so they can get better, no matter what it is, extra lift or a couple extra wind sprints, just whatever. That group is just, I love that group. That group is going to be something special.
All right, Derek Piper, you're up. Robert Rosenthal on deck. Go ahead, Derek.
I have one for Andre. This team's gotten off to some slow starts here recently. It's kind of flipped when you've come into the game with Georgia as well. You guys take pride in kind of being the switch for that, or is there communication amongst that bench group about what you guys need to do?
Yeah, for sure. We always talk. He's a great guy as well. I think we have a great relationship. And every time we're on the bench and, we see we're struggling or off to a slow start, we always talk. We always, come on, G, we're ready to go. Those kind of things, just, encouraging each other. That way, when we come in, we can get better. Because, like you said, we've actually been pretty slow starting, but that's what all their teammates are here for, and that's what the bench is here for. We always come in, we try our best, we try to get everybody going. That way, when we get everybody going, those other guys that are gonna come back in are gonna see that, and when they come back in, they're gonna be all right. Let's go, and they're just gonna get going, and that's our job coming off the bench. I think, like I said, every bench player coming off the bench has a role, and that's our role. I think just come in, bring energy, get everybody going, and then whenever those guys that came out are ready to come back in, they come back in, and that's how kind of we've been playing. We off to a slow start, we come in, we fix it, and then when those or Trent or Adam comes back in, they're ready to go.
Thank you.
Yes, questions for Andre. Andre, in the second half, you were fouled on what looked like a moving screen by Purdue, and your momentum carried you out of bounds past the Purdue bench. I saw a Purdue guy say something to you, and you had a few words for him walking back past. You care to share what that conversation was?
Nothing crazy. It wasn't really nothing negative. I just kind of told him something that happened on the plate, and I told him that I know I did a good job, and he just said something back, and I just started laughing. It wasn't nothing crazy, just stuff that happened on the court, but nothing bad.
And did that motivate you? Because the two big plays were right after that. Did you have a smile for him?
Yeah. I put on another foul on him. That was another of our keys for the game. Get number 15, foul trouble. And we did. He was out of the game and in and out. That's what we wanted. He did a good job. A lot of credit to him, but putting him in foul trouble really gave us, him being in foul trouble gave us a good chance to keep scoring in the paint and keep doing what we're doing. Because obviously when he comes back in, he won't want to foul as much or won't want to play that tough defense he was playing at first. So yeah, it was a great thing for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, we'll go Marley, and then we'll finish up with Alec. Go ahead, Marley.
All right, my question's for Andre. Obviously, we only see the side of DeMonte Williams really in the game, but what does he do behind the scenes or in practice that makes him such an important part of your program? And I see you're kind of laughing a little bit, so.
Nah, DeMonte's a great guy. DeMonte, I actually told him I thought he was gonna be the hardest person for me to get to know and connect and kind of have that relationship. Besides being a teammate, but it was pretty easy. We're comfortable with each other. He always making me laugh. Every time he's, with negative stuff, I'm practice or shoot around, I try to pick him up just like he does to me. I'm not the greatest guy in practice at times or I shoot arounds, but DeMonte and my other teammates are always there to cheer me up because, they've been there, so they know what it's all about. And he's a great guy overall, like always trying to bring some positivity. Like somehow, like whether it's a joke, whether it's trying to make you laugh, whether it's saying something like just a word. But he's a great guy, and having him on the team gives us a lot of positivity just because that's what he brings. So great dude on and off the court for sure.
All right, and then we'll finish up with Alec. Go ahead, Alec.
Hey, Andre, I couldn't help but notice the green shoes tonight, the Grinch Mambas. What went into wearing those, and how'd you get them?
Damn. Put him in a tough spot, but just I know being on the basketball world, you get to know a lot of people, and a lot of people want to help you out. So I had a connection. I had a friend that actually he's coming here next year, Luke Goody. He was the one that put me on, and Kobe's my favorite. Was my favorite player. Now that he's gone, but rest in peace. But Kobe being my favorite player, I had to get him just because like they're pretty much special edition, like a Christmas edition. So I got him on Monday, and I saved them, wore them today on shoot around, just kind of breaking me in a little bit, and brought them out to the game. I always like to have good shoes, and it's nothing bad. I just always I love shoes, so Having these they mean a lot to me just because Kobe was my favorite player, but just nothing crazy. Just I like I like a lot. I like a lot of shoes, and I always try to get those that are special.
Thanks, Andre.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Well, Coach will be joining us here in just a moment.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and Coach will start with his opening statement, and then we'll follow up with questions from the crew here. So, Coach, you're up.
Well, happy New Year. I would like to start off by saying that I was absolutely not the free throw coach today. I will get to the bottom of who was in charge of that. No, I think it was a crazy week. I've never been in the middle of a season and had to take 3 straight days off. That our guys were here, and with the NCAA rules and the Cara days, we couldn't spread them out because of the way our schedule's built on the back end during the holiday. So we've got a bunch of games coming up pretty quick, and we'll have to fight through that and be better. DeMonte Williams was really impressive today. We really challenged him in terms of the glass. He's been shooting the heck out of it, hitting back-to-back threes or close to it at the end of the first half. That was a terrific run. I thought Curbelo with a plus-minus of 26 not only impacts the game with the ball, but what he did on the defensive end, creating some opportunities with steals and gets some guys some easy baskets. So those two guys, and again, it was very balanced scoring. I was very happy to see the ball go in for Adam. A young man's been working his tail off and graded out the best that our best after the last game on the defensive side, and then I was really happy to see Coleman. Coleman's had a good week of practice, and his last 2 weeks actually have been really good, and he's starting to feel comfortable. So he's an elite shooter. We saw that, so I was really happy for him to see the ball go in as well.
We'll start off with Jeremy, and then Nico, and then Joey. So go ahead, Jeremy.
Brad, you rattled off the performances of 3 freshmen there. What have they meant to you, and how have they kind of, eased into this and been a part of a team that's hoping to do big things so far?
Well, I don't know if they've eased in. They've been thrown in, and especially especially Curbelo and Adam and DeMonte's been at such a high level all year. We've been able to kind of nurture Coleman along, but yeah, those guys are all really good players. Their success comes because of what has been done prior to them coming here. They're high IQ guys. I've said it since the preseason. They're great listeners, and they have tremendous pride. And everybody develops a little bit differently at a different rate. But these guys have been able to adjust because of their IQ, their feel, their instincts allow them to do certain things. So, yeah, I'm excited, and again, it's great to see the ball go in, because that helps validate what they're doing on the other end, which they've both been doing some good things there.
Obviously, you guys got off to slow starts in both halves. And what is the value? Because everyone asks us about it. The value of bringing Andre off the bench. Like, why do you value that a lot right now?
Let's see, plus minus 26. I think we could start right there. He gives us a little bit of a different dimension in terms of the floor opens up with him. We really haven't faced anybody all year, and you sure can't trap him. You can't commit two guys to him. But we really haven't faced anybody that's been able to keep him out of the paint. And, it's a matter of time before our guys get going hitting shots. And that happened at the end of the first half. Then right at the start of the second, we were frigid. Part of that was free throw shooting, but their 17-0 run, and a little thing, which was the last, we tried to manage a 2-for-1 at the end of the half and executed it great on the offensive end, got a couple stops and had a foul to give and committed it. I wanted a side out, not a baseline out. And we never switch on baseline outs, and we do there, and they hit a three. That's big because they had the ball coming out and they hit a three. So they scored 6 points without us ever touching the ball. But anyway, he changes the game. He changes the game, and he did it on both ends of the court today.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go with Nico and then Joey. Go ahead, Nico.
Brad, DeMonte said that Andre has eyeballs in his kneecaps, eyes in his elbows, that he just sees things that other guys don't see. Is that kind of an accurate way to describe that from maybe your perspective on the side? Do you kind of see some of the things that he does when he makes some of those passes?
I wish you could all see practice. It's between the defender's legs. It's some of the stuff is pretty unique, pretty special. And, but it's, again, sometimes he's finding the balance between probing and we're allowing him to probe, and then knowing when, the defense is collapsed and they're at the blocks and the elbows and he doesn't have anything. And he's still searching for that a little bit, but he's getting much, much better with that.
Have you noticed that guys maybe, or is it something you've had to coach, that you kind of, when Andre's got the ball, guys kind of need to be ready at any moment to be getting a pass when it might not even look like it could be coming their way?
You're getting a bloody nose. And, we struggled with a little bit of that early in the season. I think guys now in practice are getting acclimated and know that, it doesn't matter where he's at or what contortion his body is. He's got the ability to get it to you if you're open. So he's very, very special that way.
Okay, we'll go Joey Wagner and then Harry and then Brandon. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Brad, DeMonte stepped in, hit a three to snap that 19-0 run. He gets a steal on the other end. Trent hits a three, and all of a sudden your two seniors have wiped away a 6-point deficit. What is the value of having those guys who, they've seen an awful lot in 4 years?
It's more not just the physical plays you described. It's more the emotional state with which they keep our huddles and our team. What most people don't understand is, you could get pretty dejected when a team's on a run like that. And you can let that swell, and you can never bounce back from that. And in the timeout huddles, it was, hey, we're fine. Just settle in. Let's do what we did in the first half defense. Everything's positive. Everything's and that allows them to stay in the moment. And so then they can make those shots and make those plays. And again, it's the value of experience and tremendous leadership.
And then Adam got fouled on a 3-point attempt, hit 2 of his 3 free throws. Did that kind of just seeing the ball go in, he comes out and hits another couple threes after that? Could you tell that maybe lifted him up a little bit?
Well, sure. I think that's going to lift everybody up. And I mean, nobody works harder than Adam at shooting the basketball. And you know, he had a run the other day in practice where he made 7 in a row. And so, you know, that's coming. That we're going to see that 6, 7 in a game or in a half coming real quick. And so anytime you see that ball come in, and like I said earlier, I mean, he graded out better than anybody defensively after the Indiana game. And that's what really excites me, because he's taking that challenge and that amount of pride. And, you know, I had to yo-yo he and Io a little bit, you know, unfortunately for Adam, because he picked up 3 fouls and then Io had 3. So it was kind of a yin and a yang there to get him back to not pick up their 4th, because we knew we'd need him down the stretch.
Okay, we'll go Harry and then Brandon on deck. Go ahead, Harry.
Hey, Coach. Rare off night for Io. Can you just talk a little bit about, from your perspective, what do you think was going on with him tonight? And then also, what do you have to say about those other guys, Monte, Kofi, and even Adam, kind of stepping up and helping out when they needed to on the offensive end?
Answered it. He didn't have to. You know, it's you know, I've been waiting for the night to see how it would be when Io didn't score 20 plus or 25. And he had 12 in the first half and was terrific in the first half. And yet it didn't affect his rebounding. It didn't affect his defense. And yet guys made plays. And you know, down the stretch, we're going to put the ball in Io's hands, and he makes a great lob to Kofi, and he makes all the right plays. So there's a whole bunch more to winning a game and having a great game than scoring 25 every night. And I know most fans and most people don't want to hear that, but there's a reason I was the best guard in the country, and he made just about every play he could to help us win.
One more thing, you mentioned a little earlier about Coleman's performance tonight. We saw obviously what he could do out there. What do you think in the future we have to look forward to from someone like him, who's been described by his teammates as an exceptionally hard worker, you know, someone who's always trying to get better, and they have nothing but good things to say about him?
It's just the natural progression. I think we just have to let that happen. I don't want to put expectations on him, and I just want him to keep doing what he's doing. He's doing a lot of the right things. And you know, we saw him get an offensive rebound. We saw him make a great switch on a defensive mistake by somebody else. And, you know, those are the little things that are very hard for freshmen. And man, you know, when the ball goes in, that's great, but it's all the other things he's doing. And so we just got to let him keep getting better every single day. And he's a young man who really wants to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, we'll go with Brandon and then Derek Piper. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Brad. Speaking of Coleman, what kind of led to the decision to play him over Jacob today?
Really good practices. He deserved the opportunity. I reward guys who practice well. I reward guys who practice hard, and it's not anything against Jacob today. You know, DeMonte was terrific, so it was going to be, and I felt really comfortable with DeMonte in the game today. So it was going to be some, you know, lesser minutes maybe, but Coleman deserved that opportunity. He's been terrific in practice, and I'm always going to reward effort and positive practices with minutes when I can.
And then defensively, how would you assess the job that your team did against their bigs?
I thought they were great. I thought they were absolutely great. You hold Williams to 14. The biggest stat in that is he had 2 assists. He was 3 for whatever the first half, 3 for 9, maybe 3 for 10, 3 for less, you know, I thought we did a great job. That comes not just on our bigs doing that. That comes with high hands. That comes with ball pressure. We lose Sasha a couple of times and one to open the game. But I thought we did a really good job on him. And of course, that's Trent being Trent. So, yeah, all in all, I thought we were pretty solid against their bigs.
Okay, we'll go Derek Piper and then Scott Ritchie on deck. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Coach, Curbelo plays starter caliber minutes, almost 29 tonight, but just with the regular slow starts here recently, last couple of games, second half, you 10-0 run by the time he gets in. Do you think about that? Does that go into your thought process?
Not 1 second.
What do you like about what he sees from the bench? What value does that add for him, do you think?
Really comfortable in it. I mean, he prefers that. He likes seeing how that ball screen's being handled. You guys got to understand, Curbelo is one of the most. He's a savant, and I mean, he comes up and asks me stuff after shoot around that is like, wow, he's really thinking that. And, he's asked me before the game, he said, do you think they're going to stay with me? You think they'll double me, blah, blah, blah. And he's just, because he's watched so much film and he's prepared, he gets a chance to see that. And, we've had probably as many decent starts as we've had tough ones. And again, today was just we lose Sasha, and I didn't mind our start as much as we missed some free throws. And, but things do change a little bit with Curbelo, and he's very, very comfortable in that role. And so am I.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go Scott Ritchie and then Robert Rosenthal. Go ahead, Scott.
Brad, you played lineup with all three of your freshmen a little in the first half, and then again in the second when you guys ultimately made a run. What made you comfortable with those three maybe on the court together today?
I'm slowly learning to trust them. 3 weeks ago, probably not as much. I probably would have had some high blood pressure, but and that's more on the defensive end than anything. That's our growth on the defensive side with those young guys has been fabulous. And again, it's a matter of time before they really dial in offensively and start making shots. And we saw a little touch of that today, and I hope that continues. And because those guys are they've been thrown to the wolves, so to speak, and now they're really not freshmen anymore, especially Adam and Curbelo with the minutes they've played. Those guys have seen some really good teams and some really good players, and they've seen a lot of schemes thrown at them. So they're maturing into really good players pretty quickly.
Percentage-wise, compared to the rest of the games this season, the free throws were an anomaly. But were there any indication that tonight was going to go like that, other than just maybe the first few not going down?
Off. We had to take 3 days off, and that is very, very unusual. And you lose a competitive, I always say this, it's like the bye week in football in the playoffs. You love it because you can get healthy, and you hate it because you lose that edge. And it's hard. We didn't do anything for 3 days. The coaches weren't allowed in the building with them. So, that's a mental thing. Guys got to step up and make those, and that's a mental edge we got to get back to.
Okay, we'll go Robert Rosenthal and then Marley on deck. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, Coach, this seemed like a matchup of freshmen. Purdue played 5 freshmen today. You played 3. Both sets of freshmen scored 23, but yours on much better shooting. What did you like from your freshmen versus theirs?
Well, theirs are really good, and that's a tribute to the job that Matt and his staff do. I think that every freshman's got to find their niche, and I think our group is starting to find their niche and their identity. And some days it's we want them all to be extremely consistent. We know that doesn't always happen, but I think we're starting to find a comfort, and maybe that has as much to do with it as anything. But Newman's had some big moments. Gillis has had some big moments for them. Obviously, the big kid Edie has been very, very impactful in his minutes. So again, I think it's just comfort for us.
Thanks.
Okay, and we'll finish up with Marley. Go ahead, Marley.
Hey, Coach, how did today just emphasize DeMonte Williams and the growth that he's had this season and these past couple of years with the program?
Yeah, we challenged DeMonte. I think one of the things that in the Indiana game, I didn't like DeMonte's effort going to the glass. And what does DeMonte do today? He goes out and gets 10. And they're big rebounds. And, everybody's talking about his 3-point shooting. We all knew he was very capable of that. But his passing, his steal, his headiness, he's so connected and such a great communicator on the defensive side. He helps so many guys because of that. And again, it's just his demeanor in a timeout that's kind of calming. And, you can't put a value on that. So, he's grown into not just a good player, but he's grown into a huge factor on a really good college basketball team.
Now, last January, you guys started out the season with a loss, went on a 6-7 game win streak. Do you think about this year, 2021, and what this game could mean for setting the tone moving forward for you guys as you head into what will be a tough January?
I just look at it as a win against a really good team. If I thought about that far ahead or that far in arrears, I'd drive myself nuts. I was trying to figure out that sounds like trying to plan during COVID. It changed from day to day and still can. And so I all I know is we've got Northwestern next, and they're great and they're playing well, and we're going to have to be at our best to go there and play with a really good basketball team. So for me, I have to keep it in that perspective.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, that'll wrap up today's press conference. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at the next one. Thanks, everyone.